Hi there, and welcome to my channel. Today I am taking the very humble stewing beef and I am turning it into the most delicious breaded beef bites. As you know, stew meat is generally meant to be cooked for long periods of time in some kind of a liquid to make it tender. However, I am cheating that process. I am putting the little bits of stew meat into a plastic Ziploc bag, and then I'm going to use my mallet to tenderize the meat. Now you want to make sure that you tenderize each piece individually, flip it over and tenderize the other side. Otherwise, you may get a bit of a chewy bite. Here, I'm just wanting to show you that, in fact, I did tenderize that piece of meat, and you can see the difference between one that hasn't been tenderized. Once everything was tenderized, I took some flour, and to it I added some dried basil and some ground thyme. I like to season each portion of the breading because it just adds to flavors. And those eggs there, I am just adding some Worcestershire sauce to them. And the final step is I'm adding some Montreal steak spice to my Panko. You don't have to use Panko, just crushed cracker crumbs works good too. I ended up adding a little bit more Montreal spice, and because the Montreal spice has quite a bit of salt in it, you'll notice I didn't add salt or pepper. To bread your little beautiful bits of beef, you want to first start with the flour. Cover it completely. The egg wash is one of the most important steps though, because if you don't completely cover your meat in the egg wash, then the delicious crispy Panko breadcrumbs won't stick to it completely. And for me, wow, that's the piece de resistance, the best part. I tried not to get too many pieces of the breaded beef ready to go into the oil for frying ahead of time, because the wetness of the egg and the beef itself tend to make the Panko actually lose its crunch a little bit. So I just made up ready for the oil what I was going to be able to fit into the frying pan at one time. This is just regular cooking oil, and to test its readiness, I just dropped a few pieces of the Panko breadcrumbs in there, and you saw how they sizzled. That's when you know it's ready. Now, the perfect oil temperature for this, as far as I know, is 340 degrees Fahrenheit. My frying pan goes either a little bit cooler or a little bit hotter on the Sultan. So if you want to test it for sure, you would use a thermometer. Now I am prepping for my salad. That is a Tupperware peeler. It's one of the largest ones. You don't have to use a Tupperware peeler, but what I love about this on this cabbage, now if my cabbages were a little more densely packed, they'd be easier to do this with, but they give you that beautiful shaved cabbage feeling. Now if you're better with your knife skills than I am, you could probably just use your knife and cut it. But you can see the difference there. I just love those little bits. So after my meat has sat on the paper towel to absorb any extra oil, I dress my plate. I dressed about, now this is only an 8-inch plate, you guys, so I dressed half of it with the cabbage, and I threw on some julienne carrots on there. And then, of course, my little delicious beef bites that honestly, we all just wanted to eat the whole plate full, knowing that we shouldn't. I dressed that with some Japanese mayo and a few little bits of green onion. By the time it came to my plate, the green onion was almost gone. I hope you enjoyed this video, you guys. Take care. Bye for now.